Very disappointed and respectfully disagree with the decision of the Illinois Supreme Court on the issue of our highway drug interdiction unit. We think it's absolutely critical that we have all resources available out on the interstate highways, stopping Mexican drug cartels from bringing heroin, methamphetamine, and cocaine into our community. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court disagreed with us, so they're removing this important tool for us that we believe is helping protect our community. However, with that in mind, we are still fighting and working on so many other fronts, working with local community groups, with experts in treatment, education, and law enforcement to make sure that we're doing everything we can to push back against the heroin drug epidemic, making sure that we have resources available for those who are looking to get clean, and that we're taking all necessary steps with our local law enforcement to make sure that we are busting dealers and we're doing what we can to stop the drug traffickers. Frustrating for us is the fact that as the state police budgets are cut and the budgets for interstate drug interdiction have been reduced, there has been an absence, a vacuum of law enforcement in that area, and that's what we created the SAFE team to do. Just as the Supreme Court stated, there is an absence of resources to adequately deal with this problem, and that's what we were attempting to address, and that's why this frustrates us. It's frustrating for me because we recognized a need that was not met currently by law enforcement levels that were available to us, and we were attempting to step in and take charge of this really serious problem. So it's very unfortunate that the court did not provide us with any guidance on how to make a determination as to when there are not adequate resources or efforts by local law enforcement, because that's the situation we've been in that caused us to take this path. We're going to be taking the resources that we have applied to our SAFE team, and anything that we're no longer using in the office, we're going to be transferring to other law enforcement departments, and hopefully we'll be able to use them against our drug dealers and the drug traffickers that we're dealing with, and we're going to continue pushing forward. We have so many different efforts already underway. This is just one of the things that we have going. It's unfortunate this particular effort isn't going to be allowed to continue, but this won't stop us in our fight to protect our community.
Illinois prosecutors' vigilante police force ruled illegal. Chicago, CN, the Illinois Supreme Court vacated a woman's drug trafficking conviction, ruling that a police unit operated by an Illinois County State's Attorney's Office, independent from the county's regular police force, had no authority to make traffic stops. In 2011, former LaSalle County State's Attorney Brian Town formed a police force separate from the county's police force called the State's Attorney Felony Enforcement, or SAFE, unit. SAFE officers were tasked with drug interdiction along interstate highways passing through LaSalle County, just west of Chicago, particularly along I-80, which is the fastest way to get from Northern California to Chicago and the big cities of the eastern seaboard. They arrested dozens of people, and confiscated $1.7 million from drivers before the program was suspended in 2015, according to court records. Town's authority to operate an independent police force became highly controversial, as did his spending of $100,000 of the money collected by the civil forfeitures to fund his own travel to law enforcement conferences, including a $17,000 per diem award for travel expenses. Kara Ringland was stopped by a SAFE officer because one of her U-Haul's mud flaps was more than 12 inches off the ground, and the officer found it unusual for a woman to be driving a U-Haul alone. A drug dog found 100 pounds of marijuana packed in the back of the van. She was convicted of drug trafficking, but an Illinois appeals court vacated the charges against her based on its finding that SAFE personnel had no authority to arrest her. The Illinois Supreme Court upheld that decision Thursday, vacating not only Ringland's convictions but also those of 4 men separately charged with felony drug offenses in LaSalle County. Each defendant was found in possession of a controlled substance after being pulled over by a special investigator with the SAFE unit. We hold that the state's attorney's common law duty to investigate suspected illegal activity did not apply to Town because he made no showing that law enforcement agencies inadequately dealt with such investigation or that any law enforcement agency asked him for assistance, Justice Charles Freeman said, writing for the court's 5-2 majority. Absent this duty, the conduct of the SAFE unit fell outside of the scope of Section 3-9005, b. The court voiced concern that the state's reading of the law would allow the formation of 102 additional police forces in Illinois, each directed by the state's attorney's office. To construe Section 3-9005, b, as the state urges would promote confusion between the distinct functions of general law enforcement and assisting a state's attorney in the performance of his or her duties, Freeman said. 2 justices dissented from the majority opinion. There is no support in our common law for restraining the common law duties of the state's attorney based on different types of investigations, Chief Judge Rita Garman said in the dissent. Nor is there any support in Section 3-9005, b, which spells out the powers of special investigators, for limiting the exercise of peace officer powers based on the request or failure of other agencies. The state high court's decision opens the door for more drivers arrested by SAFE officers to sue. Alyssa Larson and Jeffrey Straker did just that last month, filing a class action in Chicago federal court against LaSalle County, Town, and John Doe SAFE officers, alleging Town's vigilante police force violated their civil rights. Source: http://www.courthousenews.com.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.